Hello,
Absolutely.
welcome to Beyond the Last Man, our WSL Arsenal Women's podcast. On this week's podcast, I'm joined by Lottie, our avid Arsenal Women's #1 fan, to review our recent matches over Valarenga and West Ham. Remember to check out Lottie's podcast, Vic Acres Wonderland, as well, to give her a like, comment, and subscribe. And also sit back and enjoy the show. As I said on the intro, I'm joined by our #1 Arsenal Women's fan, Lottie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too
I'm
bad.
glad to be back as well.
Cheers, thanks for coming on again.
Um,
110 views and 4 likes for our last show, so but long may the trend continue. Onwards and upwards, like Renee Sleggers will say. She's had a good start to her interim managerial career. First of all, last midweek, 4-1 over Valarenga in the Champions League. Fox, Fjord, Caldente and Russo. How pleased were you with that performance, Lottie? Really good, wasn't it?
I was really pleased. I was in the ground. It was just so refreshing to have a performance where we actually wanted to score. I know it's not completely IDFL's fault, but it's also the players' fault. And with that, they've kind of just bounced back from it, and we needed it. It was so good. Like the first goal in the first few minutes. I mean, when was the last time people can remember we scored in that opening minutes? We haven't done that in a very, very long time. If I remember rightly, it was 2022, and it was Freedom Arnhem that scored really early on. We tend to score in the first half at the moment, with the way we've been playing around under Jonas. But it was just so good to be back in the ground. It's great to be back in the Emirates. It was 5,615 crowd, which is about average for a group stage. The crowd attendances don't really shoot up until we get to quarters, semi-finals, and that's when people tend to turn up. But the hardcore, we all turn up for we sit there and freeze through the winter months in the Emirates. So
do I heard tell you, do you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there's usually about 5,000 to 7,000 people.
Do you feel, sorry, Lottie, for cutting across you, do you feel there's a better buzz about the Arsenal Women's team being in the Emirates and Meadow Park?
If I'm honest with you, I prefer Meadow Park because it's more compact and you've got
smaller attendance
and there's more of intense sort of atmosphere. Like, this is our ground, you're not you're not going to break us, sort of thing, and it does help the team. And they do get a chance to actually listen to your chants. It's a bit like the first game Mariona Caldente played at the at Meadow Park. Twist and Shout started. It was originally a lot of fans will know it's El Neni song, and we all love Mohamed El Neni, but no, it's now Mariona Caldente's song, and it's such a hit in the North Bank, and it's just something that it kept us warm, put it that way, when we're singing it in the North Bank. And you see the pictures that were taken by someone else I know who podcasts. Her handle is at Boodlepim. She now shoots for the Gooner. And you see the pictures of her being actually listening to the song and her reaction to it, and she really enjoyed it. But I do kind of prefer Meadow Park, but I also love the Emirates games because it opens up the doors to potential new fans. I know a couple of friends who've got young girls. They've been to men's games and they don't want to go back because it was scary. So it's the latter of the two, but eventually all games will be at the Emirates, and it's something I'm going to have to kind of adjust to because you will get fans who don't necessarily come to Meadow Park and they don't necessarily learn the songs and all that kind of thing. So, but it's kind of expected with the game growing the rate it is.
Yeah, it's growing at some pace, isn't it? Like, I was watching the WSL show on BBC after Match of the Day last night, and the growth is just phenomenal. You know, it's particularly over, I suppose, the last 2 or 3 years since the TV broadcasters have come in. You know, and it's really helped the game. It's amazing what small things like that can do, and you know, it's encouraging obviously young girls as well to get into the game. You know, they're looking at their idols now, not from not the men's side, for the women's game. I thought Mariona Caldenti, you were saying last week, the more I watch her over the last 2 or 3 weeks, what a player she is. So you could
Oh,
see she
she
comes
is.
from that Barcelona style of play, isn't she? So neat on the ball, but she put a through ball into Russo for that last goal against Valarenga, and Russo just like a player in confidence again, isn't it? Like a weight's lifted off her shoulders since Ida has left. Do you think that on that victory was like a weight off their shoulders, big confidence booster for them?
Oh yeah, it is. The thing is, it's a bit. She kind of got a bit of what Stina has at the moment, and it's that hesitation, one too many touches before she sends the ball off, and it doesn't
Yeah,
work. And Stina Blackstenius, once she's got over that sort of hump, so to speak, she's off for the
yeah,
season. And I think where the team's been performing badly and the confidence is down, she's also starting to doubt herself at the moment. But I think that goal against Valarenga set her on back on the right path. We saw it this weekend at West Ham. Although it wasn't amazing, it was still the only shot, the proper shot of the first half for me.
yeah.
But it's I'm hoping she's gonna sort of grow her wings. I've always complained that she's always playing too deep from where she is. And seeing her where she should be on the pitch for that goal is just absolutely brilliant. But also at the same time, I'm calling myself a hypocrite because if you look back at the whose goal was it? Mariona Caldente's goal. The initial movement starts from Lena Hurtig at the halfway line, and then it's crossed over to Russo, no, over to Stina, and then it goes over into Mariona Caldente. But the pass in between Lena and Stina, sound like a poet there, is actually initiated by Leslie Russo. So it's sometimes her being where she is, as long as we've got people ahead of her, it's fine. But when you haven't got anyone ahead of her, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how pleased are you to see Herzig back from injury? She looks fresh again.
Do you know
There's a
what?
smile on her face as well, yeah.
Oh, I am so happy to see her back.
Yeah.
I was where I was sitting on the halfway line. I've looked up and I went, hang on a minute, is that Lena Hurtig? I've taken up my iPhone 16 and I've zoomed all the way in, and I went, oh my god, and I absolutely screamed my head off because I love watching Lena Hurtig. I love how she plays, and she's always brings that extra edge to something we need when she has a really good purple patch.
Yeah.
And she hasn't scored loads of goals for us, but she scores in the Champions League, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this Champions League girl. Come on. And everyone looked at me like I was
about her as well,
crazy.
isn't she? She's not afraid to put her foot in where it matters as well. She can play and very forward thinking, isn't she as well? Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you saw her charge down in the closing minute straight into the keeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's absolutely fearless.
Yeah.
And she is a game changer when she's given the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say another player that's actually in form for us as well, Emily Fox. She's some player, especially like they put the men's team something to shame. Like she really impressed me as well against West Ham yesterday. She's kind of the focal point now, isn't she? Getting down the wing in particular.
Oh no, absolutely. The thing is, that's what you want from your inverted wing backs at the moment. You get it from Kate all the time. It's the norm.
Yeah,
we see that
yeah,
internationally, domestically, all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But you also want to see that from the other side of the pitch, and it's become such a norm at the moment for doesn't matter men's or women's football. Her coming out of her shell a bit more is it's really exciting, especially after she got her first goal the other week.
It's as you said, an early goal really calmed the nerves, didn't it? Like in that against Valarenga, I think it really proved really well for them. They could settle down, play their football, and Renee Schlegel, she seems to have a bit of she has her own style that she wants to play as well, doesn't it? Like, do you see her? I know it's only 2 games, 2 wins is great, but do you see her being in contention of getting the women's team job full time?
Possibly, purely on the basis that she's taken over from Jonas Eidevall before in Sweden and she's won leagues. She's won league titles.
Yeah.
She hasn't. The list, as far as we're aware, is completely locked down. Don't know. She's been asked by the press. She hasn't said anything. Arsenal have got her well and truly drilled. Would I want her to stay? I'm not 100% convinced because West Ham is West Ham. They're being relegated this season. They're my horse to be relegated. They're not supported by the main club, by the other half of the club. West Ham don't care about the women's team. End of story. Whereas you look at teams that, prime example, Crystal Palace, when they've just come up, they've been backed by their men's team. Brighton have been backed heavily this year. Aston Villa last year. And then obviously the big names, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Man United, they've all been backed by their counterparts. And I'm finding that if you don't have backing of your counterpart, you're going. I feel like West Ham have been saved the last couple of years because of the likes of Birmingham City, the likes of Reading, who've been in financial trouble. Bristol City, unfortunately, although their rich history in being league champions, they couldn't cope. They couldn't even get a win last season. So the last few years, they've just about scraped it. But I think it's their turn to say goodbye next.
Yeah, you believe that you believe West Ham will go down, do you? Yes, you feel they're the next team, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They've never played at the London Arena. Never. Instead, we're going to Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, saw that yesterday. Yeah,
much as I love the old grounds, it's if you want to be in top flight football, you need to be using the main stadiums.
You feel that, you feel that the women's side, particularly if they're from the Premier League side of things, you feel like they need that exposure in the men's ground, do you? Step up.
The games go in that way. The long-term plan for Arsenal, Liam Williams said it, Jonas Eidevall said it before he left, is to have all games at the Emirates.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely massive because now Chelsea are following. Chelsea are following suit. They're having more games at their ground. Old Trafford are following suit. Anfield as well. I mean, the Amex had the most tickets sold this weekend for the first time ever. And that's Brighton because they've recruited correctly.
Yeah.
They've got the likes of Frank Kirby. They've got Michelle Adjiman from Arsenal on loan, and the way that they've built their team, they're actually a contender this year.
Yeah.
And that's like just shows you the growth of the game and how intense it's going because you don't know what way the league's going to go.
Yeah.
At this point.
And
Arsenal were truly out of it, mathematically.
As well was a good one, yeah. Yeah, she celebrated in style as well, didn't she, against United? Yeah, it's nice to see them celebrating, because that whole thing about scoring against your former club and not celebrating, that you're a professional at the end of the day. Your career is short at the best of times. Well, you have to enjoy them moments, don't you?
Oh no, absolutely.
It's just part of your career, I suppose. Briefly, I suppose, to wrap up the Champions League side of things, Lottie, do you think that 4-1 victory last week, would you be confident of a good Champions League run now? Do you think that should kickstart them now in the competition?
I'm really hoping so, because every time we go over to Munich, we get beat 5-2. It's a long history with Arsenal. It's not fun. It was my birthday, and it was a nightmare. And I switched it off as soon as Pernell Harder put that 5th goal in. I was like, nope, that's it. I'm done. Don't want to see anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's this one thing about Pernell Harder scoring against Manu Zinsberger. She did it at Chelsea. She did it at Munich. So, that game wasn't fun. But I'm kind of, the Valarenga game was a kind of win. It was a must-win game. Otherwise, we'd be heading home after the next couple of games. You can't afford to lose many in the group stages. I mean, we've got Juventus and then Munich and Valarenga. We've got them all again, but we haven't played Juventus yet. So that's going to be the interesting one in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah, they're tough games, but I suppose if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, don't you, as well? Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. It's going to be very different with Juventus this year as well, because Joe Montemuro's not at the wheel. It's a different manager. Alicia Lehman's out there as well. She was a midfielder in Aston Villa. She's a decent enough player. So we'll see how they're doing when we get out there. I'm quite looking forward to the away day. Actually, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to for the women's. It should be a bit of crack, all right. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a permanent manager by then, and things should be looking.
We're hoping for one over the international break.
Yeah,
and then we can have that new manager bounce in going to Man United away on the Sunday. Fingers crossed.
I think the good thing is, with the international break coming up this weekend, it's kind of a point where you can get back to the drawing board again, isn't it? Or now a few things have gone wrong, and maybe new fresh ideas.
Out, so they don't get a rest. I mean, Mariona Caldente's pulled out training today.
Did she?
For Spain's national team, and it was just like, no, please, not another one.
She is quite the talent, though. She's on to really get fans up after seas, She's just quality, isn't she? Just the way.
Oh no, the way that her vision and the way she plays is just it's spectacular.
Yeah.
I think I said the other week I've been watching her since she skinned Beth Mead in the Emirates a few years ago.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped watching her, and I'm just bouncing off the walls with excitement with her.
Yeah, I think it would only enhance the Women's Super League as well, attracting those top players from foreign leagues as well. It can only do the league the world of good as well, can't it? Yeah,
oh no, definitely. Thing is, the only problem with that is you need people to do the research, because a lot of people turn up, I don't know who this is. Who is Mariona Caldente? They'll look at her accolades, and then that might pique some interest. But whether they go further than that is a different story, because she's won everything. She's literally won everything: Champions League titles, cup titles. There's a few cups that she's won as well. There's so many. Like, the list is like that. It's massive. But she's a serial winner, and you can see it in the way she plays and the way she carries herself. And she doesn't like to lose at all. Well, none of us like to lose.
Yeah, you
but
can see that in her. She's a bit of a fiery character, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a firecracker, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
To have that experience of winning major trophies like the Champions Leagues and League Cups, and it's invaluable as well. It can only add to the arse and women's, a team of winners in their own right as well. But just to bring in that bit of experience can be so crucial, especially when you're kind of struggling at the moment. A player of her caliber can only enhance it, in terms of getting back on the road again. And
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Caitlin Ford's been sensational this season.
Yeah, 100%.
I gave her a 2 out of 10 last season. The drop off was ridiculous. She got the first goal of the season last season, and that was it.
Yeah.
Her drop off last season was pants. Put it that way. I'm trying not to use another word, but she scored 4 in the group qualifier stage. I was like, okay, let's see you do some more. And I've been proven wrong, and I'm really enjoying her playing on the right with Caldente as the 10, because it unlocks something else to the right, and we can bring in people like Lena Hurtig. We can bring in Rosa Cavaji, and it spices up the team, and it's not safe football like Jonas Eidevall played. Yes, he fixed all the problems that Joe Montemurro had, but it also reduced the amount of creativity. So we've gone from left, right, where we've got all this creativity and all goal scoring, but we get caught out so easily.
Yeah.
To, okay, we fixed all that, but we've lost our creativity. So we need someone to come in and find that balance between the two, because we've got it. We've got the depth. We've got the talent. It's just finding the balance between the two.
Yeah. It's I suppose when you have the talent, you can nurture, but I suppose because there's so few games, being a small league and all with 11, 12 teams in it, you don't get that much time to nurture them. It's the games come thick and fast. And you need to be on your game, don't you? And even the smallest of slip-ups. When you see how good City and Chelsea have started, it's similar to the men's. You're already playing catch-up, aren't you? When you draw a game or two, yeah.
No, absolutely. The thing is, the cracks were there last season, and they were just becoming bigger and bigger, and it just all collapsed at the beginning of the season at the wrong point.
Yeah.
And Jonas Eidevall had lost the team, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it at Chelsea. That was just.
Yeah. You made a good point last week. It was the way you stormed down the tunnel. You had the perfect seat.
I spoiled that straight
said yourself, you knew that was probably the breaking point with him. Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. But the thing is, like, when was the last time you saw our players lose and be walking around the pitch like the fans bawling their eyes out? We don't do that. Ripping each other's heads off, arguing. It's not something the Arsenal to do, because Arsenal pride themselves on us being one team all together, and it's just something's not right. You could just feel it.
Yeah. It's on to pastors new, I suppose. Renee Slegger's 2 from 2. We'll go into the review, I suppose, of the West Ham match from yesterday. Caldente with a penalty, and Cavaji late in the second half with a stunning second goal, I have to say, into the top left-hand corner. I suppose in terms of the first half, I've a few notes from myself here. Sadly, only could catch the highlights. Russo had a good shot, just wide of King. Samek's right-hand post. Thought the West Ham keeper, in fairness, done quite well. She kind of kept out a few good strikes from us. Emily Fox and Leah Velty both had efforts saved in the first half wire as well. I thought on the hour mark, though, the substitution probably changed the game for us a bit. Cooney Cross, Cavaji, Mead, and Blackstenius made a really positive impact, I thought. It was Blackstenius then had a good strike just outside of the post, very similar to Russo's efforts in the first half. And then the foul by Tizak on Blackstenius led to the penalty. But Caldente, I was just listening to on the commentary from Dan Roebuck, who does actually the Arsenal games, was actually the commentator last night. 100% record from the penalty spot from herself. So that was quite a stat.
No, absolutely. I mean, that quadruple change, I'm just going to rewind it a bit, was exactly what this game needed. The first game, I'm not going to lie, it was boring. It was just, we weren't getting there. The only thing that I recall that was eventful from that first game was Russo's shot that went right.
It was a really good
and then
strike.
I was just like, this game needs a complete change. And the fact that Rene has the kahunas to do that quadruple change is exactly what we needed, because it just absolutely fired up. As much as I love the Kim Little and Leah Volti pivot, we know Kim Little is getting on now. She just can't pace. It's been like that for 5 years now. It's time to change it, reduce her minutes. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, and people are going to come from me. I'm a bit worried now. But it's just the way that Kyra played kind of took over from Kimmy. I was just impressed with her passing, and the way she was playing was just brilliant. And then you look at Rosa, and it's so exciting. I picked her up last season. I ended up watching BK Haken through their Champions League, through the group stages and up to the quarterfinals where they lost to PSG. And the reason I was watching them was for Rosa Kafaji. She's absolute dynamite. She is that star girl. If she's not playing, this is going to be a really extreme comparison, but she reminds me of Saka in the way that she plays football. And also when she's on the sidelines and warming up. Old story, but I was at AFC Wimbledon in a cup game a long time ago, and Saka, Smith Rowe, and I think Eddie McKetty were all standing on the sidelines. Saka didn't start. That was the last time I remember him not starting. And all he wanted to do, he was standing there next to Smith Rowe saying, look, they should be doing this, this, and this, and this. I want to be on that pitch. And Rose is exactly the same. Even when everyone was cooling down, a friend of mine videoed Rosa just doing keepy uppies. She just wants to play. And I think she's proven that she is that game changer. Like, she's the reason we got a point from City. She is the reason, because otherwise Beth wouldn't have got that goal. And it makes me question why Jonas didn't put her on for Everton, didn't put her on for Chelsea, because it's someone new. It's someone they don't necessarily know how to play against. And she has that energy to terrorize like she did at West Ham. And I know it's only West Ham, but the energy and her vision, the way she was entertaining the fans, every time she got the ball, everyone was excited. They didn't know what she was going to do. But leading up to that goal, I think, again, Mariona, with her vision to get that pass straight down to Stina Blackstenius and across to Rosen to go up into the top left corner, and to open her WSL account and Arsenal account for her goals. That was her first goal for the Arsenal. To be able to do that without any sort of restraints and things, it's refreshing. And I really hope we get to see more of Rosa after the break. She's more than proven that she's ready for a start, or at least come on for more than sort of 20 minutes. I want to see more of her, especially if the likes of Caitlin Ford is not working.
Yeah, it was a great build-up play, as you said, for that goal. Katie McCabe laying the ball down the side for Blackstenius, and then just a great ball into the box, and first time strike from Kavaji. Yes, and she done a nutmeg on one of the defenders, and she tried to bury it in. The
way she got it off, she had two defenders on her. It was just unbelievable.
Very nimble-footed, isn't she? She's very. You don't know what you're going to get from her. Yeah, she's a bit of everything, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, people sort of laugh at me when I sort of get excited. Oh my God, she's coming on, because I know what's coming.
She's excited.
And and it's so refreshing. It's like last season, Kyra Cooney Cross excited me because I watched her through the World Cup, and I didn't miss a minute of her playing, and I was like, I'm really excited about her. And look at her now. She's a great partnership with Leah Volti, and it's it's more the excitement of where we're going to put her, because with Mariona, you can put her on the left wing, right wing, up front in the 9 or the 10. With Rosa, you can do the same, but where is she going to fit? If we're going to start putting Caitlin Ford on the right to compete with Beth Mead, and Lena Hurt is left on the left-hand side, are you going to put Rosa there? And it's kind of exciting because we've got all this attack.
Headache to
you
have.
don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. You've got options there, haven't you? Yeah, options that create that there's an end product in. Yeah. I thought, I have to say, it was Van Domselaar had a really good save as well in the second half. She got down well from a header. Think
from Bryn Giles Lottie at the end of the 92nd minute. I was having flashbacks to Saturday night with that.
I tried to practice it all last night. I was going to say to Iceland, I think she's from Iceland. But it was a cracking header. But she got down like that, Van Dam.
Yeah, no, she's
do you think she'll actually keep Zinsberger out? Do you think she's our number one now, Van Dam?
Well, we'll see after the international break. They're both playing over the international break. But at this point, for the way that we're playing, Daphne's long balls are so much better than Manu Zinsberger. As much as I adore Manu, I don't think she's going to be able to fight this one out. I think Van Domselaar is going to be our number one. A lot of fans who watched the Euros a couple of years ago before she went to Villa will know what she's got in her locker. And she is a very exciting goalkeeper. I like goalkeepers, but they're not really my thing that I keep an eye on. But she's caught my interest, put it that way. Yes. So it's exciting to see what Manu's going to do and see if she's going to rise to the challenge, because she's seen off Sabrina D'Angelo, she's seen off Kaylin Marquise, and she's seen off Lydia Williams. So it's going to be interesting if she can do it for a fourth time. But with each time she's seen off another keeper that could take her place, she has got better.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think she's going to have to give up her jersey to Daphne at some point.
There was talk of actually in the summer, Zinsberger was actually leaving, wasn't she? She nearly had her mind set on last season must be our last, but she must have must have been convinced maybe that there wasn't someone coming in. Maybe I
think it was a case of she had the baby on the way and she wanted to go home.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what Jonas Heideval did, but she stayed.
Yeah.
So and then that ended up in the resulting in us trading Van Domselaar for Sabrina D'Angelo. Unfortunately. Well, Sabs. Well, it's not unfortunately. Sabs is a great keeper. I'm not going to dispute that, but Van Domselaar is so much better.
Yeah, agility wise, she gets down to balls like it kind of reminds me of our own David Ray in the men's team. Pretty similar to the way they perform and go. Yeah, it's great to have a headache though of two top keepers as well, isn't it? Pushing each other. It's a refreshing to have. Players in each position and to have backup as well of the same quality. Yeah. Who was your man of the match from yesterday, Lottie?
Oh, it's got to be Rosa Kafaji. She just came on. She changed the game. She got her first goal, and it was just something that we need a little bit more of. As much as Mariona was absolutely superb, Rosa kind of edged it for me yesterday.
Yeah.
She's such an exciting talent.
Yeah, it's just the quality she brings. Yeah, very quick-footed as well. You don't know, and a bit of pace about her as well, down the wing as well. But she can certainly finish. Yeah, it was just like an arrow in that top corner. What a finish! You could just see the excitement of the Arsenal fans as well, couldn't you, when that went in? Just more the relief that we got past. Does it look like it could have been a 0-0, like the Everton game? It was kind of edging that way.
It was going that way until the quadruple change.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And it shows that Sleggers has, as you said, she's the confidence of making, a lot of substitutions at one time, but to be effective, in fairness to her, she saw what was needed to change the game as well, didn't she? Yeah.
No, absolutely. The starting lineup was too safe for my liking. I was hoping for something different from Valarenga, but I also understand why she wanted to test it that way. We lost for the first time 1-0 to them at West Ham last year for the first time. They haven't won there since they beat us there, though. I will say that. But it's nice to have our first win since 2022 there.
Yeah.
with that, and it's playing safe isn't always the best bet. And as I said, we need to find a manager that can balance the creativity and balance the easy mistakes and find a way to cover both, but we don't sacrifice the creativity for the goals.
Yeah, it's a fine balance, I suppose, when a team's kind of fragile with the start of the season we've had as well. Yeah, so yeah, it's a results business though, isn't it? And that's why you're judged on as a manager. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Such a competitive league, though. You know, the standard is so.
It's just got better this year.
It really, I have to say, it's a joy to watch them highlights programs. You know, you kind of look forward to more the match of the day too. You know, it's perfectly straight out, but the standard of football, like I was just watching the Chelsea and Spurs game, it's just incredible. You know, since that World Cup and all, you know, the Euros for England, and you know, it's just reached another level, which is exciting. They can only go in one direction, hopefully. You know,
no, absolutely. Even Spurs, dare I say it, they've recruited well. Oh God, that sounds horrible coming out my mouth, but they have. They have, and it's nice to see that they're invested in their women's team.
Yeah. They just seem to have a vision, haven't they? You know, you can see there's kind of a plan there, isn't there? Like where do you want to go?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. There is a plan, a long term, but it's also a case of the people who now own the league. They need to have a plan. The clubs know where they want to go, but where's it going to take us?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You can only see it can only be positive from here on in for the league. Yeah. It's going from strength to strength. And the quality of football is incredible, to be honest, in my opinion. The result leaves us fifth in the table with 8 points, 13 behind leader City. Do you still think the league is out of reach for us, or you know, good run of form maybe up to Christmas?
Mathematically, it's gone because it's such a small league. You can lose a maximum of 3 games. We've had our worst start in 10 years, so it's not looking great. I'm just at this point I'm willing to let the league go and just focus on the Champions League, focus on the cups that are coming up, and I think that's the way forward. Personally, I mean, we've got a title to defend, so I'm quite happy to continue with that at this point, unless City or Chelsea have a dramatic turnaround, or even United go. Well, I'm not going to lie, United are likely to go downhill, but Chelsea and City, I can't see it. It's going to be between them, but I'm leaning towards Man City more than anything. They've been second too many times.
Yeah, they look good this season. Yeah, it's a good team they have there. Yeah, I suppose the January transfer window could be a big one as well for Arsenal, couldn't it? It's a tough window though to bring in players you want, isn't it? It's more the summertime that happens now. Even for the women's game, it's tough. You know, being cup tied now, isn't it? Can you see anyone yourself? Do you think we could make anything in January?
Well, at the moment, no. You'd have asked me closer to Christmas, and I can give you some answers because it's a case of we need to figure out how we're using what we've got first before we bring anyone else in. I mean, Rose has been here for a few months. Mariona's been here for a few months, and it's just working that out and putting all the puzzle pieces together before I think about adding, I want this person. I don't need to change anything at the moment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're happy enough with what we've got. Yeah, which is kind of refreshing to say as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's as you said, it's the international break now this weekend, isn't it? So a bit of a probably much needed reset for the players to see where they're at again. But they can take big positives out of Westham and Valarenga, 2 from 2, and there's no better way than recovering to winning your next game. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's relief just to have 2 wins under the belt, because that's usually the stepping stone for what comes next.
Yeah.
And especially coming back to Man United away on the 3rd of November. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Especially with their form.
Yeah, they're in good form. They've actually kind of surprised me this season. They've come out of the blocks quick, haven't they? And they've a strong team, haven't they? Very strong team.
No, definitely. Loaning out Grace Clinton to Tottenham Hotspur last season was the smartest thing they've ever done.
Yeah. She'll come back a different player, doesn't she? Yeah.
I know she's a brilliant player. She's a joy to watch, even in an England shirt. She's just an absolutely amazing footballer.
Yeah.
So
you're dreading it, in other words.
Yeah, I am. I kind of am, but I it depends on what shape our girls come back in, because I know the only player that's got 3 international games in the USA is Emily Fox, and her last game is the Wednesday before. So I don't know if that's going to be enough recoup time for her to come back. Are we going to see Caitlin Ford at the back? Is Katie Reid going to get her first start? We just don't know, because obviously from where I'm looking at it, she's in Louisville, Texas, and Kentucky. I don't know how close they're all to each other, but the point is she's still traveling around the country with the USA, and you know for a fact Emma Hayes is going to play her. She's even come out and said, "I'm not resting any of my European players." Although, and you sit there and think, all the times you sat there and argued, you need to rest my players.
Yeah.
Shoes on the other foot. It's just ridiculous.
As much as you want to see them getting international game time, it's always on the back of your club, isn't it? I think these international breaks come at the wrong time in a season. I don't know if there's ever a good time, but it's just when you're on, as we are at the moment, when you get a run of good momentum, there's just that break. It stops everything, doesn't it? It breaks it down. Yeah. But look, hopefully a positive result when we come back from the international break. Is there anything else you'd like mentioned or anything, Lottie? Been a good show.
I don't think so. I think that's everything. If I'm honest with you, I've really enjoyed coming on again as well. So thank you for having me.
It's been sorry, you just broke up there. Sorry, everyone's quiet there.
No worries.
As always, check out Lottie's own podcast, which is really top stuff. Vic Akers Wonderland, and she done her own show there tonight as well. So I'll be giving that a listen to when that's up. As always, you can catch Beyond the Last Man. We're back again. I don't know how I'm doing 3 shows in a row, but I am. Beyond the Last Man on the Dubliners YouTube channel. Thanks to Martin Stumble for editing this. It should be up over the next day or two. And until next week, hopefully all going well. We'll be back again. So thanks for your time, Lottie. Have a great week.
Thank you for having me.
For like, comment and subscribe as always to both our shows. Cheers. Thanks for listening and watching.